Hi, this is Laura from LIVEVISIONZ.com, and I want to talk to you about what everybody's talking about, the Saturn Jupiter conjunction. Now, I'm going to talk to you about astronomy, and then we're going to talk astrology, okay? Astronomy and astrology, a little different, okay, but altogether interesting, all right? On astronomy.com's website right now, and it says Jupiter and Saturn will form a rare Christmas star on winter solstice. On December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn will appear closer to Earth's night sky than they have since 1226 AD. You can watch the event live here on astronomy.com, courtesy of Lowell Observatory. Okay. Now it says this December, Jupiter and Saturn will put on a show for sky gazers that has been seen in roughly 800 years. The two largest planets in our solar system will appear almost merged in the Earth's night sky. Okay, and then during the event, Jupiter and Saturn will sit just 0.1 degrees apart from the mere 1/5 of the width of the moon. This sight will likely leave many casual observers wondering what are those two large bright objects so close together in the sky. All right. In fact, Jupiter and Saturn will be so close to you that you'll be able to fit them both in a telescopic field of view, which is nice. This is an incredibly rare occurrence. The last time Jupiter and Saturn were this close together was 1226 AD, at the time when Genghis Khan was conquering large swaths of Asia. Wow. And Europe was still generations away from the Renaissance. Humanity won't have to wait quite as long to see the solar system's two largest planets repeat this month's performance, though. Although this great conjunction will occur in 2080. Of course, many of us alive today won't be around, so it would be wise to soak in the show while you can. Now, I'm going to talk, that's astronomy, but I'm going to talk, now you can go to the astronomy.com website to see this live on the 21st, and it's conjunct now, but that's when it will be the closest. And I'm going to tell you, also on Skyview Light, I do not get paid by them, by the way. There's Skyview Light and Skyview apps that you can get on your phone or your, iPad or a tablet, and you can download. And what this does is you point it to, you could be in your house and look at, point it to the sky, and it shows you all the constellations and all the planets. You can click on the planets, it can give you information on the planet, you can click on the constellation, it'll give you information on the constellation. Like, I did not know, I clicked on Saturn today, and I'm showing you a clip. The image you're getting right now is from my iPad. This is from the Skyview Light, and yeah, and I clicked on Saturn, which is the planet you see in front of you with the rings on it, and it basically showed that, if Saturn was to fall, well, not that it would fall, but if it fell in the ocean, it would float because it lacks density. I did not know that. It was really interesting. And as you know, it also gave the information, which astrologers do know, that it takes 29 years to revolve around the Earth, right? And Jupiter takes 12 years to revolve around a complete cycle, okay? Now, these two very large planets, you can view on the astronomy.com website, or if you don't have a telescope and you want to get something in your handheld, like your phone or your iPad, download the Skyview Light app or Skyview app onto your device, and you'll be able to see them in the sky, and you'll be able to see all the planets. And it's nice to have this on your phone or iPad, as you can see what the planets are doing in the conjunctions. And, you can also see the you can set your device whether you want to see the constellations or not. I have it where I see them, Anyway, and Ava likes to look at them too. It's kind of fun. Now, let's talk astrology here, all right? Astrology, okay. Now, I want to say that I feel the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is even rarer, but that's just me. We just had a Saturn-Pluto conjunction. What was it, the last couple of years when Saturn was, while Saturn was in Capricorn, right? So that was very rare. And then Saturn-Pluto-Jupiter conjunction is even rarer, okay? So now that these planets are moving into Aquarius, right? Aquarius is the sign of innovation. It's a sign of, getting ahead. It's a sign of science, right? It's revolutionary, right? Aquarius is also the sign of sudden, unexpected, kind of like tower moments, you know, when you don't know what's coming. It's unexpected. That's Aquarian energy. You don't know what you're going to get, right? It's also unique. It's, you know, unexpected. It's different, unusual, innovative are all words that can describe Aquarian energy, right? Also, Aquarian is also humanitarian. It is also the planet where you can be rebellious, revolutionary, you want to fight for injustice, things like that. Aquarian energy. Now, Saturn restricts and delays things. Saturn can rules time. It rules karma, right? And, you know, Jupiter is expansion. It's growth, expansion. It's optimism, right? Jupiter energy can bring an optimistic point of view, but sometimes it's overly optimistic. You know how you can be overly optimistic, like, oh, I have so much money to spend, and don't worry, I'll just make more. I can spend for Christmas, and then Saturn comes by and goes, no, I just cut your wallet in half. You know, you thought that you were spending money you didn't have. Saturn comes by and says, nah, I'm restricting this. You know what? You can't be overly optimistic anymore, because reality check. Saturn is that fucking reality check. Excuse my French. It is. So Saturn's a reality check going, guess what? I just cut your clients in half, and now you're not making as much. So, you know, now you're overly optimistic. You're spending money you didn't have, yada, yada. And the reason I'm talking like this is because we have Uranus and Taurus, and Uranus rules Aquarius, right? And Uranus is like expect the unexpected. And Taurus is security, stability. So this is what I'm feeling what's going to happen when these two planets conjunct, how it's going to affect our lives. I feel these two planets are going into Aquarius with a bang. That's what I feel. And the bang is there's going to be unexpected restriction. Saturn's restriction, Jupiter's expanding that restriction, right? Jupiter is expanding that, and Jupiter brings overly optimistic nature. Don't forget, Jupiter's overly optimistic nature is meeting Saturn going, buck stops your butt, right? So I feel people may have been overly optimistic with the last holiday, and now, because of that, we're having more restrictions put upon us. That's just my opinion. Whether you cannot agree with it, that's fine. You can leave comments below. I'll turn comments on. But that's my feeling. Saturn's restriction, Jupiter's going to expand those restrictions, and they're going to be brought to us suddenly, Aquarian energy, suddenly. And I'm not saying that people aren't going to be mad and pissed. They may be. Aquarian energy is also, revolutionary, where people want to fight for injustice. You know, they're all about humanitarianism and all that stuff, right? So people may fight against, the restrictions put upon us. They may, okay? Now, these restrictions may affect our economy, because Uranus is going to be in Taurus, affecting our security and stability. That's what I'm feeling. So, that's kind of what I'm feeling, right? So you may feel overly optimistic that, everything's ending and we're going to get back to normal and we're going to try to, do things as we want to do them. And just before the holiday, Christmas, you bet your dollars to donuts, they're going to put more restrictions, I feel, because of Thanksgiving. That's just my opinion. They're going to they're going to make it harder. They're going to make it worse. And I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm not giving an opinion. I'm just saying that's what I feel this is going to pan out astrologically. And this is going to maybe affect our economy in a huge way. And that's because they don't want people getting together for big gatherings for the holiday, for Christmas, because maybe they overdid on Thanksgiving. I don't know. It depends on how the hospitals are doing and all that stuff. But I feel Saturn's restriction, Jupiter's expansion, it's expanding that restriction in Aquarius unexpectedly, right? And Uranus rules Aquarius. It's in Taurus. And it's bringing your security and stability highs and lows, unexpected, ups and downs, right? That's what I'm feeling. So you let me know. Now, speaking of optimism, now, I'm going to say too, just don't be bummed. And I know you're going to be like, oh, this sucks, I get it. But when Jupiter moves away from Saturn, it's going to retain its own energy, right? It's letting go of Saturn's, gravitational energy within its own planet. And so when Jupiter moves away from Saturn, okay, you're going to notice Jupiter is going to be more expansion, more abundance, more, you know, giving to you in more expansive and abundant and also more optimistic ways, right? Where Saturn is going to sit there and be restriction, the expansion of the restriction isn't going to be there as much as Jupiter moves away. Once Jupiter moves away from Saturn, it's going to start giving back to you in some way, right? Just it would be different if you just had Saturn in its Aquarius by itself, which is just restriction. But when you have Saturn in this area of your chart, when you have Saturn by itself in this area of your chart, it just brings restriction, right? You put Jupiter there, and it does bring expansion. It does bring optimism and all that stuff. It does. But more when they're apart. You know, one's taking away and one's giving, right? But when they're together, Jupiter's going to expand what it touches, and it's going to expand Saturn, the restriction part. So that's what I'm feeling. And there was something I wanted to touch on, because I was like, what the hell? Now, we always, you know, Ava and I always do her prayers. She's learning to do, you know, she learned some of it in school, some of her prayers, but because, you know, this homeschooling and all that stuff, when we do our prayers and stuff like that, she's learning her Our Father and her Hail Marys and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm teaching her, let's be thankful. Let's say thankful, be thankful for everything that we have, and, you know, let's show thanks for everything that we have and be optimistic. You know, you don't want to be depressed, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Saturn conjunct Jupiter can make it, some of the optimism, it's like a wet blanket, you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. But, you know, I say we should be thankful for the things that we have. Now, speaking of not being optimistic, I was watching a very famous person on YouTube. This person has their own TV show. I'm not going to say who it is. But I will say, I was watching her, and I know that she had a house burned down, okay? And it was like, it was an accidental burn. It wasn't like just because of the California fires or whatever. So her house burned down, which is horrible. It is horrible for anyone to have a house burned down. But I was watching a YouTube video today of her, and I like to watch Christmas decorating things, and Ava likes to watch the decorations and stuff. And she was basically really depressed. Basically that she has to live in her guest home because her house burned down. And, you know, this is how we decorated for the holiday, right? I didn't put my trees like I normally did. I just did the garland and this and this. It looked impeccable. It looked beautiful, right? But what got me is she was kind of like, oh, but thank you to my friends who helped me, which is nice. But yeah, oh, you know, I'm not in my other house. I'm kind of, you know, in this one, you know. So this is the best. I'm making the best of a bad situation, you know, like this, you know. And I get that, but what bothered me, and I think a lot of people in her comments, I'm going to tell you, this guest house had to be 2,000 square feet or 3,000 square feet. It was huge, right? Bigger than a lot of people's homes, okay? And it was vaulted ceilings. It was decorated impeccably. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are like, wow, you're crying and you got 2 loaves of bread under your arm. You're crying and you have a place to live and you're not, you know, it's really, you got to be sensitive, people, to other people when you do stuff and you say things. Because be sensitive to the people who lost their lives already to COVID. Be sensitive to the people who lost their jobs from this crap. Be sensitive to the people who they can't work, they have to work from home, and their kids are homeschooled, and it's difficult to even work with kids in the house. You know, you want to be sensitive to what you say and what you put out there. Because her comments, man, I was thinking it, but I didn't say it. Well, I'm saying it now, I guess. Some people really went hard on her because, like, wow, you live in a place that's 3 times as bigger than my house, and you're bitching, like, oh, gee, you know, and you had designers come and help you decorate? Are you kidding me? You know, some people were like, I lost my job because of COVID, you know, I don't know where I'm going to live, and you're, you know, it's like sometimes you got to put stuff in perspective. You know, when you complain, think about other people who don't have, especially right now. A lot of people are in lack mode because, and I'm going to tell you, lack mode creates more lack. But some people, you know, it is what it is. You know, they lost their jobs or they're not working or they don't have a place to live. And sometimes we got to be thankful for the little things that we do have because a lot of people have nothing. A lot of people have nothing. So let's hopefully say a prayer for those who have nothing and those who are sick at this time. And let's pray our economy gets better. And let's pray, you know, all of that. So I believe in the power of prayer. Anyway, I thought I'd do this video because it's such a rare occurrence on December 21st. Jupiter is conjunct Saturn now, but this is going to be really close that day, right? These two planets are going to be very close. So my advice to you would be either to go to the astronomy.com website, and let me make sure what it is. Yeah, astronomy.com website. Check them out. And also, look at the Skyview Light app. You can download it on your phone or your iPad or Skyview. It's really nice, and you can look at the planets that way too, especially if you don't have a telescope, right? So this is something nice, and I might do this with Ava, so she may enjoy looking at this. And if she has a question about the planet, we can click on them, and it gives her information. It's a nice learning tool for kids as well. Again, I don't get paid, and this is not a sponsored video. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm curious to your comments. Leave comments below as to how you feel the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius will be affecting us. I think it's going to be very interesting. And yeah, I just feel like this is going to be unexpected somehow restrictions. You know, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Anyway, I hope it's not. Yeah, I really strongly feel that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be just before the holiday. Oh, you were going to go visit your aunt. Think again. Click. And they may put a ban on. Well, travel would be Sagittarian energy. Travel would be long distance travel would be Sagittarian, or well, Jupiterian energy. What am I talking about? Saturn conjunct Jupiter can delay travel, you guys. It can delay fucking travel. So my feeling is any time before this conjunction, December, if you want to travel, you may want to do it now. But I don't know if you're going to get back home because they may ban travel. Saturn restriction, Jupiter can be also travel because Jupiter is Sagittarian energy. So that would be long distance travel. There could be a ban on maybe taking a plane. Trains, planes, and automobiles, my friends. I don't know. They may have a travel ban. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Because Jupiter is long distance. Jupiter is Sagittarian energy. Foreign people, foreign land. Imports, exports. That could be another thing, you know, which can affect the economy. Uranus and Taurus. Anyway, you guys leave your comments. I find this very interesting. I mean, it's, you know, crappy, but interesting. I feel that, you know, as Jupiter gets away from Saturn, these restrictions may lessen. Okay, that's the good news. Okay, it does take Jupiter a year to get through a sign, about a year or so. Saturn will be in Aquarius for 2.5 years, my friends. So buckle up, buttercups. Yeah, but here's the thing: Saturn is going to bring karmic innovation, karmic science. Science is, you know, people are going to be revolutionary. Are people going to be innovative? Yes. Are people going to be humanitarian-like and wanting to fight for the rights of other people? Damn straight, yes. Karmically, yes. So Saturn rules karma, Saturn rules time. So what the universe is saying, it's time for some change, Aquarian energy. It's time to be revolutionized. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And it's time for innovation, you know, I'm seeing that. It's time for science, I see that. I also feel, and Jupiter can expand that. Jupiter is the higher mind, right? Through education, although it could be restricted right now because of, you know, let's face it, because of schools and things like this. So we may have to get innovative. Aquarian energy, you may have to get innovative. So whatever these restrictions are, you may have to become innovative, especially if it affects your job. All right. Anyway, I'm just putting this video out there. I find it interesting. So, yeah, look at the sky on the 21st and see what goes on. And it's really interesting. I'm going to keep this video off. It's really interesting to see what happens in the world as well. And, yeah, I feel there could be a travel ban. I don't know, ban on this. Interesting. But it's going to affect our economy. Anyway, you guys, if you want a personal reading from me, links are below. Yeah, and maybe I'll do a live someday, sometime soon. It depends if April's cooperating. I mean, working from home, you guys tell me your stories. I mean, it's trying. Oh, my God. Yeah. She wailed on the phone, and I told her she's not allowed to interrupt when I have a client. Not allowed. She wailed like, I want a, I want the snack. I want a snack. I want a candy cane. I want a candy cane. Can I have candy cane? Can I have candy cane? Oh my God. It's just, I don't know, like a dog with a bone. And I told her, do not interrupt when I have a call. Seriously. I get mad when she does that. It's hard to work from home. But anyway, that's when you got to give your clients extra minutes, extra time. Yes. I will add time to a call if that shit happens. Anyway, because that's not the client's fault. It's, it's the situation, the shitty situation. Most of the time she's good, but since I got these candy canes that came in the mail, not so much. I want a candy cane. Can I have a candy cane? I didn't eat dinner, but I want a candy cane. Anyway, oh my God. So, yes, Lord, hear my prayer. Lord, hear our prayer. I know I can't be the only one in the situation. Anyway, I love you guys, and let's see what's happening during this major cosmic shift that's happening. And I didn't get my notes, but I believe, I got notes here. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? All right, on December, let me look here. Saturn enters Aquarius on the 17th, right? And Jupiter enters Aquarius on the 19th, just so you know. Right? And the 21st, these are really close in conjunction, very close. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys. This is what I wanted to tell you. Jupiter does rule unexpected, right? And it's ruling Uranus, right? Now, Jupiter is a natural square to Uranus right now. Jupiter is going to be squaring Uranus. So I'm telling you, whatever's going on is going to maybe hurt the economy, or you may feel wherever you have Uranus and Taurus and Jupiter's in Aquarius, beginning degrees, there's a square. It's going to create difficulty, okay? Now, I wanted to talk to you as well, okay, if you have about millionaires degrees and millionaires aspects, okay, I want to talk to you a little bit to give you some positivity here in this negative environment we're going through. All right, if you're a Cancer, you're like, oh, my home and family sucks, my husband is horrible, I'm getting a divorce, and I know Cancers are really going through it right now. And you've been put through the mud, Cancer, with like partners who have been really cruel, nasty, and if you have a Cancer moon, that also applies. Cancer rising. So anyway, if you're a Cancer, now I'm going to tell you, here's some information that you might like and find helpful. If you're a Cancer rising, or if you have Cancer in your house placements, 29 degrees, especially if you're a 29-degree Cancer rising, hello, I'll tell you why in a minute. If you have Cancer in one of your house cusps at 29 degrees, you're going to have Capricorn at 29 degrees, and that is a millionaire's aspect. If you have Venus at 29 degrees Cancer, cha-ching. If you have Pluto conjunct Jupiter, millionaire's aspect, cha-ching. So don't be too safe, Cancer. Security is coming your way, I'm telling you. Especially if you have a 29-degree aspect, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you another thing. And those of you who, not only if you're Cancer rising, but if you have Pluto conjunct Jupiter in your chart, that is rags to riches, okay? That is a millionaire's aspect. Pluto conjunct Jupiter, right? Now that is good. Now, if you're in your natal chart, you have good placement between Uranus and Jupiter, like a trine, a conjunction, a sextile, mostly a trine, or like a biquintile, even better, a quintile, biquintile, or if you have a conjunction, or, yeah, a trine. Now, this is a lottery aspect, okay? It's a lottery aspect. So, I'm going to tell you who's going to be lucky this year. Who is going to be lucky this year? If you have Uranus in Aquarius, if you have Uranus in Aquarius and Jupiter goes past your Uranus, and you have this in your natal promise, if you have your natal planets, Jupiter and Uranus, in good aspect natally, then you could very well have a, lottery aspect win. So look to see if you have Uranus, early degree Uranus in your chart, and when Jupiter crosses that sucker, you should get a ticket. If you want the exact dates, go to the Swiss Ephemeris, or you can contact me. All right. Also, let's see. If you have, I'm going to tell you, Uranus, yes. I'm trying to think. If you have Uranus right now in an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, and it's early degrees, you know, first 10 degrees is this year, Jupiter, first 10 degrees. Well, I'm not going to say first 10 degrees because it takes Jupiter a year to be in a sign. So right now, for December, January, February, early degrees, if you have Uranus in the early degrees of Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, yeah, buy yourself a damn ticket. Something could be lucky. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, especially if you have good aspects between your natal Jupiter to Uranus. You know, you could win the lottery. That's a lottery aspect, right? So especially if you have Uranus in Aquarius, yeah, and Jupiter's going to pass that sucker in a conjunction. Hello. Hello. Thank you, Jesus. That's what he says. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. It's been a rough year, and somebody should deserve that. I mean, especially if they're going through a rough time, you know, so I'm giving you some information. All right, so that is some information. Let me see. Let me think what else. Yeah, so if you have Uranus now, basically that's it, okay? And especially if you have, now we just had Pluto conjunct Jupiter. We just had a Pluto conjunct Jupiter, was it last year? And a lot of people could have had big transformations in their life, big ones. But Pluto conjunct Jupiter is rags to riches. And I'm telling you, Aries, hello Aries friends, you had Pluto conjunct Jupiter probably in your solar return. So this year is big transformation, big innovation, and big money could be coming to you, Aries friends. I'm telling you, I see it. So anyway, you guys, I love you. I just wanted to drop you some positivity when I know this year is full of negativity. It's Jupiter. My Jupiter is well placed in my chart, so we'll see. But when Saturn gets over the Jupiter, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. You know, you're feeling majorly restricted and majorly like, you know, you can have your days of blues, you know, your days of down in the dumps when Jupiter, if you have, you know, Uranus and Aquarius, or, you know, well, actually what? In Aquarius, Jupiter. If you have a Jupiter return, that could be good for you too. It could be growth and expansion, innovation. In Aquarius is big, major innovation. Anyway, I'd have to look at your natal chart. If you want me to look at your chart personally, click the link below. If you want lottery aspects, I include that in the natal chart. If you want a relationship reading, links are below there too for the love reading. I look at synastry. And for your solar return from this birthday to your next birthday, I can look at that as well. That's on sale now too. All right. So anyway, I love you guys. And yeah, keep your head up. Keep your head up, right? Things are going to get better. Things are going to change. But right now we're in a shifty change stage is what I feel. So let me know in the comments below how you think this conjunction Jupiter-Saturn in Aquarius is going to affect us. And other astrologers are more than happy to comment. All right. I love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.